Today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Cosmic Run Rapid Fire. This is a 1 to 2 player game. I'm checking because I've only played it 2 players, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a kind of a dice drafting game where there is some direct player interaction, there's a little bit of engine building, and in the end you're trying to navigate your ships through to these planets. So you have these 3 ships that are trying to get through to these planets, and you're getting points at the end of the game based on how far you get, a little bit based on the engine that you've created, and which isn't exactly an engine, really. It's you're gaining bonuses that you can use once throughout the game. So you're not building an ongoing engine, really. And you can also just outright win if all 3 of your ships reach all 3 of these planets. The dice are really cool. They're these beautiful custom dice that you're drafting throughout the game. But the coolest thing about the game, in my opinion, and there really is a lot of cool stuff. This is a great 2-player game. But I'm loving how the board starts out empty. So this is how it starts out. You have a direct path where you can steer your ship from the bottom here all the way to the top. All you need is the movement to get there. However, and so it starts off blank. I think that's great. During the game, every round, you must roll these mine dice once or twice. So one of these has letters on it, A, B, C. The other has numbers on it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when you roll those dice, you must cross off the corresponding letter to number combinations on each of these tracks. And there's always one track that will have 2 marked off, and the others will just have 1 marked off. What you are basically doing is that you are creating a maze as you play. You start off with an easy path to the planet, but as you play, you create this maze. And it creates a wonderful spatial puzzle as you play. And it is really so much better than if the maze was randomly generated at the beginning of the game. That's too much information. I love that the maze is built as you play. And as you play, you're learning more information. You can plan ahead because it's easier to, it's more difficult to take diagonal paths. You need one of these upgrades to do it. And so you're looking for paths that can let you get through either by going to the side or by going forward. Ideally forward as much as possible. So as the maze is created, you're starting to plan ahead about what path you can take to get to the planet in the end. Along the way, you are trying to avoid being hit yourself. You can see which spaces are eligible to be hit as you play. There are some like safe rows that won't be hit. There aren't too many of them, actually. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, there aren't too many safe spaces. It's just this wonderful puzzle that is created as you play instead of being preset at the beginning of the game. I love this idea of creating the puzzle as you play. And as you play throughout the game, you end up rolling this more than once per round. You start off by rolling it once for the first 3 rounds, and then you roll it twice for the next 3 rounds, and then even more for the final rounds of the game. So you are getting more and more of these mines, that the tension is ratcheting up as you play. I think this is a brilliant mechanism for a game that is essentially a race. You are racing to get to these planets. And I love that the maze, the puzzle of the maze is created as you play instead of being preset at the beginning of the game. Hopefully that gives you some ideas if you are working on a race game yourself. I just think this is really cool. If you have a different favorite mechanism that you'd like to talk about in Cosmic Run Rapid Fire, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Or if you can think of another game that kind of creates this maze as you play instead of being preset at the beginning of the game, I'd love to hear about that in the comments as well. Thanks.